Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Kenobi show and reviewing the first two episodes and analyzing it. Sorry I was a little late on the upload for this one, but the show, they dropped the first two episodes, so it was a lot for me to take a look at. It took a while for me to get this video out to you. Sorry for that, but I really hope you enjoy it, and let's get on with the video. So one thing I really enjoyed about this show so far is the character dynamics, and the acting for one is also really good. It's on point. Uh, uh, uh that's probably mostly because Hayden Christensen hasn't been on screen yet, and I know a lot of other YouTubers have given this guy flack before, and I think it was partially his fault in the original like prequel movies, but it was also because the script he was given by George Lucas was also just really bad, and him and Natalie Portman had their chemistry level was literally zero, so that wasn't entirely his fault. I think it was partially, but definitely not entirely. But beyond that, the show is really good so far. I hope they do nail Darth Vader. Christensen hasn't played him in a long time, so he only really played him for like 5 minutes in Revenge of the Sith. He didn't really play Darth Vader. He played Anakin. Well, he kind of played Darth Vader for a while because after he turned at I think it was like the beginning of the third act or a little bit before the beginning of the third act. But another thing I really enjoyed about the show so far has been the Inquisitors, and even if they do look a little off in live action, specifically the Grand Inquisitor and the Fifth Brother, like they look very different to their Rebels counterparts. Um, there's something at the end of episode 2 that kind of explains that as far as the Grand Inquisitor is concerned that I'm a little skeptical about. So what happens at the end of episode 2? Spoilers. Kenobi or not Kenobi. Riva basically just betrays the Grand Inquisitor and literally stabs him in the stomach and allegedly kills him, but we don't know yet. He just keels over and he's like, but we're not sure if he's dead yet. He probably is, but he could not be. Not sure. But he also it's just like his face looks too wide. The actor's fine. I just kind of wish they'd found a better way to translate him to live action. But back to the character dynamics, I really love the way the Grand Inquisitor, whenever Riva gets out of hand, he scolds her, she's this little misbehaving child, and he also when when she almost when she threatens Owen's family, um and Kenobi's tempted to go out there, and we do learn that Riva's obsessed with finding Obi-Wan for some reason that we are not sure of yet. Probably to get him for Vader, because she might Vader it seems something Vader might do to personally plant his own personally loyal to him Inquisitor in that league, or not league, but organization. Although I'm pretty sure all of the Inquisitors already report directly to him, but it also seems beyond that. It seems personal for Riva. She's very whenever someone mentions Kenobi, she gets very reckless, angry, distraught, that sort of thing. But I loved seeing her kind of go off the rails and start threatening Owen's family, and then the fifth brother hey, pull her aside and go hey, you need to chill. Kenobi's dead. We think he's dead. We don't know if he's even alive. Chill. Which is really funny coming from the fifth brother, which could be a misunderstanding of his character or just a demonstration of how nuts Riva is. Because in Rebels, he was kind of the brute, and the seventh sister would have to reel him in sometimes, and let him loose other times. He was still an intimidating and pretty smart foe, but he was also just he was a bit different than he is in this show so far. They also invented a new Inquisitor for this show that I don't remember her name currently, but she is I have a pretty strong suspicion that she's also going to die before the end of the show. I also Something I really thought was cool in these two episodes is we got a little close look at young Leia, and it really shows like how she was always kind of a rebel at heart, like running away. Well, not running away, but like running out into the forest when she's supposed to be getting dressed, or like and like looking at the ships, things like that. That stuff I really really enjoyed. So other things that I really like, I love the set design for Tatooine, and like in it you can really tell with Kenobi, like in the years since the Clone Wars, like he's really just like started like not even like just blending in, like and still preserving his Jedi ways. Like he's actually kind of stuck. Like he's not really um how do I put this? He's not really like keeping up the Jedi ways. Like he literally like just buried his lightsabers in the middle of the desert where no one would ever find them. That's something I did find a little strange. Like maybe he marked the spot somehow, but like I'm a little skeptical as to how he remembered exactly where to go to get them. So that's a little curious in my mind. And also the Grand Inquisitors have like the Inquisitors had no idea Kenobi was on Tatooine. I think Reva kind of like suspected it possibly, but I do know for sure because like they went there in search of a different Jedi. Let's talk about him for a sec. So this Jedi kind of like, I think he did get to Kenobi because like at the beginning of the episode the Inquisitors try to hunt him down and he escapes them. Then he finds Kenobi and Kenobi tells him to just blend in and live a normal life. And like there's a little subtle thing with Ewan McGregor's performance that makes me think he did that Jedi did get through to him. But like then later we literally see that guy like tied around they tie a rope around his waist and he's like hanging like dead, hanging from a like beam. So that's dark. I also like the Inquisitors kind of seem like SS officers, and the Jedi kind of seem like Jews. Like they're drawing that parallel, and like it's not a bad parallel, but like the events that it's linked to were terrible. But, like it does kind of make sense because like the Jedi are a minority. They were like most of them were wiped out. Now the Inquisitors are like going around trying to mop up the last of them. And let's talk about the ending. So Kenobi and Leia get on a ship. Probably he's gonna take her back to Alderaan, and then head back to Tatooine. And I think that because like in Reva, like she like yells up at the ship, like she's like, "We will find you," and then it cuts to and actually something very important here to note is this episode is where Kenobi, like Obi-Wan, up until this point he thought Anakin was actually dead, but then in this episode he realizes he's Darth Vader, and it's a very powerful moment. And something, and at the end, like I also noticed in Return of the Jedi, Anakin not Anakin, well yes Anakin, because like at the very end he switches back. Anakin has a scar on his forehead that's kind of like it's diagonal. It's kind of down toward his left eye, I believe. And I noticed he didn't really have that while he was in the back to tank at the end there. So I'm wondering if like the Kenobi or Ewan said in the marketing leading up to this series that they would get a rematch. So I'm wondering if Obi-Wan gives him that scar in that rematch. And I also think like because Vader at the beginning of the original trilogy, Vader did think Obi-Wan was dead. So I'm wondering how they're gonna do that, since Kenobi is going to have to like somehow be dead or presumed dead by the Empire and Vader. So I'm wondering if he might somehow turn Reva, and help her like help him disappear, possibly. I'm not really sure about that, but it could be. It's a theory. It's a film theory. Film theory. Just a little Matt Pat reference. Anyway, so far overall thoughts. Great show. I'd give it probably a 9 out of 10 because I had some minor issues with the plot and the like some conveniencies that they took. Um, yeah, 8 or 9 out of 10 for the first 2 episodes. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm a little concerned about Hayden Christensen and what he's gonna bring, but I bet he'll be able to bring a better performance than he used to be able to, because he's matured as an actor for sure. I can tell. So hopefully he's able to bring a better performance and better encapsulate that role. But and before I go, one thing I hope they do for Vader is I hope they only have Hayden Christensen voice him when the helmet is off, and have James Earl Jones do it when the helmet's on, because that's gonna fit the my preferences a lot. Because here are two things. One, I won't have to hear Hayden Christensen's voice as much, and two, every Star Wars fan always wants more James Earl Jones. Let's be honest. Yeah, anyway, I think that's gonna just about do it for the video. Stay tuned in for my breakdown next week. Like and subscribe below, and ring that notification bell so you can get updates and get notified when I release that next video. See you guys then. Geeks, stay happy, and you made my day better by watching this video. Thanks. Bye.